Some new insight nearly 1 week after President Biden announced executive actions aimed at cracking down on illegal border crossings. You'll remember those actions include stricter policies on asylum seekers when the daily average of illegal crossings exceeds 2,500. It effectively shuts down the border until the numbers drop. Correspondent Ali Bradley is live in Sanderson, Texas. And Ali, have border officials told you that they're seeing a difference since the president's executive action went into effect?
Yeah, hey, Nichole. So tomorrow marks 1 week since the president made that announcement to crack down on the border. But people that we're talking to here on the front lines, including people within Border Patrol, say not much has changed here. And the numbers that we've actually obtained from sources reflect that as well. So take a look here. As you can see, that we have not seen a single day where Border Patrol have encountered fewer than 2,500 or even near that every single day, exceeding by nearly 1,000. And capacity numbers are shooting up, signaling issues with removal as well. So San Diego and the Tucson sector, they continue to be overwhelmed. The Tucson sector is actually above capacity as of yesterday. We know San Diego is continuously leading right now when it comes to migrant encounters and apprehensions. And the executive order is not acting as a deterrent whatsoever, because we are still seeing groups like in San Diego where hundreds of people are crossing. Also in the Del Rio sector, we're seeing people cross there every single day as well. So the executive order not really doing a lot when it comes to a deterrence down here. Now, this as agents and officers are following specific guidance, including a processing disposition labeled securing the border. That is according to DHS sources. Now, Terrell County Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland spent 26 years in the Border Patrol. He says the move by the president was purely political, and it is not having a positive impact down here whatsoever.
We've seen a decrease in activity, which has been, fortunate for us, giving us some time to kind of catch our breath and deal with some other issues.
But would you attribute it to the president's actions?
Oh, not whatsoever. No, that clearly what has transpired with this administration, going from, historic amounts of activity, talking about just levels of activity that we've never seen before, and now putting a number, we're going to shut the border down at 2,500 people. You can't just stand up border security and then shut down border security.
So, Nichole, of course, there's a lot of questions regarding the rollout of this nearly a week in, and seeing those numbers not really deviate at all from what we were seeing before the executive action was announced. Now, Chief Jason Owens, the actual chief of Border Patrol, actually just arrived down here to the Sanderson Border Patrol station. He's not here to talk about the executive action, but we're going to try to get some answers from him, because he's here to assess the damage after 2 tornadoes ripped through Sanderson about a week ago. Several agents lost their homes. 2 were actually injured. 1 critically hurt. He's still in the hospital recovering, but we are set to talk with the chief here, and we'll bring you that interview as soon as it happens. Nichole.
All right, Ali. Speaking of getting answers, do we know why certain people are being released instead of removed, as the language of that executive action states?
Okay, so last week when this was first announced, GOP lawmakers actually signaled that there were enough kind of holes within this executive action to drive a truck through. We're seeing some of those exemptions play out right now, because one of those exemptions is actually regarding operational considerations. So they're acknowledging that they don't have the resources or the means to deport everyone, especially people from countries in South America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. So DHS in a document actually outlined that under the ban, demographics and nationalities encountered at the border significantly impact its ability to deport people, giving priority to detaining migrants who can be easily deported, followed by hard to remove nationalities requiring at least 5 days to issue travel documents, and then very hard to remove nationalities whose governments don't accept U.S. flights. We know that Venezuela has not accepted deportation flights for months. Now, thousands of migrants have been deported under the ban so far. That is according to 2 senior DHS officials. Now, I want to make note of this as well, Nichole, because we talk about the agency acknowledging that they just don't have the means to deport everybody. I mentioned Venezuela not taking back those deportation flights since around December. Now, we're also seeing that the commissioner, CBP Commissioner Troy Miller, putting out a directive and an email to agents and officers saying that he's aware that they don't have the resources and they weren't getting additional resources to carry out this directive, but they are advocating for the, quote, resources and enforcement tools that the agents deserve. So right now, they are acknowledging that they just don't have the means to carry out this order as it was announced. Nichole.
All right, Ali Bradley, live for us there in Texas. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.